Greetings, my king.
Ah, man. Welcome. How are you?
Well, go on, fam.
Well, just I'm here in New York, and we've been locked up and kind of keeping a distance for a while. One of the things I wanted to know is because I'm back and forth to Jamaica a lot under normal circumstances, and I haven't been in a really long time. What's it like in the streets now? What are the movements like?
You look like me should have called you when me there on my way to the studio. Let me see the streets. I met the people them see what I go on outside. But I mean, the earth is beautiful, Max Glazer, and that is one thing that I will never ever forget from the day that I learned that the world is beautiful. And I acknowledge that this world that we live in is beautiful. And we are the creation of the Most High Emperor Selassie Jah. You see what I'm saying? So, God, whatever anybody want to call it, Buddha, Allah, you know what I'm saying? Life is beautiful, and for that reason alone, when I go outside, all I see is beauty. I don't see none of things that people want to differ and say why Dre don't say these things are true. But I can't pretend. I don't see these viruses. I don't see these madness that is going on. I don't see social distancing. I can't recognize it as a Rasta. You know what I'm saying? Because really and truly, our ancestors them a preach love and unity and togetherness, oneness. You know, unity from where a little youth I grew up where I hear these sounds, word sound and power out of the headless them mouth. So for I know I just have to just live good, stay healthy and go and praise Jah.
So you brought up something. So did you grow up Rasta from a young age?
It's a question where me tell you how it go. We born in Jamaica, so we born in a Christian country. I grew up in the church. Zin. But me also grew up in the ghetto. Common sense. That's my place. That I'm a town. Big up everybody from Common Sense who tune in right now. You know, um, we are God fearing country. Most people in the Caribbean are, but I also grew up in a time where Rastafari was dominant and the teaching of His Majesty was dominant. So I had the opportunity from a young age to be introduced and know of these around me, all of these faiths and beliefs that surround I and I. You know what I'm saying? So I and I do live. When I look on how me grow up, Max, and see how me really live, I say I would have consider myself Rasta from a long time.
But
My
that's looking
uncles are
that's looking
Rasta.
back at it from but that's looking back at it from now. You would have seen how you thought about it in retrospect as Rasta.
Well, yeah, that's how me see it. Say, yeah, man, Rasta life we da live. We just never because of confusion and because we get all of these doctrines and all of these teachings. It 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 confused I and I mine as a little child. From the truth and the way of life and the free way of life. You know what I'm saying? So for each is his own, and I was never introduced to Rastafari in that way that I was introduced to Christian, give your life to the Lord and Savior, salvation, you have to be baptized and saved and all of these things, that's how I was introduced to a religion and a faith, but Rastafari, nobody, even my uncles that are um high priests in Bobo Hill, them never once look an eye yet and try to say, yo, Rasta, you have to Rasta up, you have to, no, man. They
Well,
also always teach I to live good.
that's the interesting thing about Christianity is um, the history and culture of crusades and one presenting, but also forcing that religion upon people who did not grow and come with it. And I think each person, you know, kind of whatever culture you come from, as you grow and like your consciousness and awareness grows, people are able to, you know, as you mentioned, whether you believe in Buddha or you believe in another thing, you know, people reach certain ages and consciousness where they're able to kind of connect to the things that are meaningful to them, as opposed to the things that are placed in front of you and you're told to do. You know what I mean?
Well, that's how life should be, you know. The world is free and we all have a choice. Each man have a right to decide his own destiny. You know, so for that reason and that reason only, um, everyone have them own calling, you know, and their own way of life. Because I've learned that you have people out there in the world that praise to, give praise to a plant, you know, give praise to um, a cow. You know what I'm saying? Everybody have their own way of life, but it's all about that level of consciousness, that level of seeing what the world is for what it is, you know, and knowing where you're from, so you can know where you're going, and to see clearly and to see clearly what they are doing for the future, you know, so you can know how to live and step wisely in this time.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, like, you know, people can have whatever their specific religious belief is, but I think like the underlying thing is, you know, the beliefs in like truths and rights and good and
What's the mission?
positivity.
What's the purpose? You know,
Yeah,
it's just like what I see happening in America right now, where I should ask you this question. What's the vibes like in New York? New York,
uh,
you're at right now. You're at home, right?
yeah. I'm home in Brooklyn, in the
So
heart
all
of
the
Brooklyn.
vibes.
The vibes in New York are very, very strange. So there's a couple of levels of it. So I've lived in New York for basically my entire adult life. I've lived in New York for 27, 28 years now. About 26 of those in Brooklyn. So, you know, right now, you know, and anyone who follows me online would know, like, I have two young kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. So,
Big them up every time. Yeah.
yeah, man, definitely. So a big part of this for me is just keeping all things energy, vibes, level for the kids. So kids feel all right, and everyone feels all right. So I'm not, you know, a younger me would have been out and about in the streets, getting involved in a lot more activity. But you know, I'm in a place of, you know, holding down the base and holding down the family, and it feels strange. It feels very, very strange because, you know, you travel. The last time I saw you was in New York, and you know, we rolled around. So, you know, New York is a place where you just get up and go, and it's a very small, same as Kingston, like just a very condensed city.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
get up
yeah.
and go. You go
Everybody,
studio. Yeah, you go studio. You go party. You go.
everybody know everybody. Everybody right around the corner. Everybody's like, yo, one party, one love. You know.
Yeah.
So
So the fact that that there's not the ability to do that, and you know, just being in, it's funny because I don't ever think of myself as like a social person, like as far as like I'll go out and do things, but this has made me realize that um my entire life what I do is spend it around groups of people, around big groups of people. um well, speaking
yeah,
of,
yeah. So the princess forward. Bless and love,
she said
princess. Yeah.
she
Realize that your work and just run off.
she said no thanks. But so much of my life is just around people of all different types and all different kinds, just in my daily life, in my work, in my traveling. um so so not having the ability for me to do that right now definitely throws me off, and kind of it feels weird. It feels weird in New York to only
Max,
see.
you see the people, them must say you need to go out there, go demonstrate.
I know, I know,
Rita,
I know I need to.
love every time, mama. People them say, see temper tuning, enough people tuning, massive love and respect to everyone that's on the live right now. Yeah.
Yeah, so you know,
You
so like I
breezy
said,
with Dre Island and Max Glazer. Yeah.
so yeah, so New York is just very, it's you know, it's strange, and the fact that there's no you know, there's no schools, so everyone's kind of like at home with their family units. So it's interesting. In one way, there's a lot of, I see and feel a lot of people doing like what I'm doing, which is spending a lot of time with the family and doing that stuff, which was kind of why I was asking you, because I know even though Jamaica sort of went on varying levels of lockdown and curfew, but that it's way different than the way New York has kind of completely shut down with businesses. And Jamaica's basically, whether you were observing or not, Jamaica's basically kind of opening back up as of this week officially, I think, with businesses being back open. And
Yeah, you know what? I get a message this morning saying, Farah, you need to fall to America because Corona look like it'll leave and I go to Jamaica. Yeah, yeah. But you know, upon the reels though, I mean, we hear, you know, these people in Jamaica over the years, you know, we always have pandemics. We always have breakout. Just the other day when I was in America, I mean, there was some breakout of, I think, pneumonia, and the kids them. A lot of kids were getting the sickness, you know, the virus, and I mean, enough for them overcome it, you know, strong. So it have a lot to do with the genes too, you know, because all of these viruses are made from something. What it is made from, bacteria, and naturally we have that inside of us, you know. Fight off. Yeah, some people genes are stronger, and yeah, it's a lot of confusion that is going on. So it's a virus too. We don't even know what form or what way a virus, you know, because it's really words put to things to identify it.
it's
So you
a
can
word,
just
but
say,
yeah,
you can just say, you know, them can just say, and at the end of the day, something different. But who to prove it? Otherwise, if they say you must keep it on a wrap or keep it on a level, come on, look at life as this. Within your business, within your corporation alone, there's some information that you're not going to let out to the public because it's personal to business and personal to team. And even within the team, there are some people on the team that's going to share information that not all of the team is going to know. So imagine the people them were there in charge, fam. Where people them vote and put in charge. One think them are gonna do for right.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things of, you know, you know, I have my personal views on things, and then I'll see people that have, you know, like the far opposite, and I tend to think, I tend to feel like, well, I have my views, and I'm sure there are parts of what things that I believe that are not exactly correct, because I'm not, I'm taking in, like you said, like bits of information from different places, but I'm just trying to be aware, and be open to information, and which is kind of a good policy across the board, is just to be continually learning and learning
Yeah,
for
because
yourself.
that idea within life naturally, you know, if you're not learning and growing, then you're stuck at a place where I don't want to see you. You know what I'm saying? So I just the value of life. Studio up now. Step going nice studio.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, but you know the vibes go already. It's just it's just the same that's happening everywhere in the world. It's happening here, you know, but everybody go about it a little bit different. But Jamaica, we love how them contain the the whole vibes of this coronavirus that them say is going on in the world. I love how my country, Jamaica, really hold it down, you know, and keep the people them up because it's like a limited cases of people that died from it that they reported. So they say.
Right.
You know,
So
I'm
so
only
it's
speaking based off of what they said. You know?
right again, taking the information that we've been provided, which we can all be skeptical of, but I think also it's it shows that while in a lot of respects, people talk about and look at Jamaica and the Caribbean as a quote unquote third world country. But if you look in the
Let's
instance
go.
of what you're talking about, what Jamaica has done versus what America has done, big America with all of the money and all of the guns, and how sort of sloppily and poorly that that things have been handled here. I think it's again, it's another one of those things that opens up people's eyes and the insight and kind of make you think about these labels and how we look at and not how we, but how people might look at a
View.
country like Jamaica. And so being small and not maybe having as much resources as America has, but look at something like this where being small has afforded the opportunity to move quickly, you know, to be nimble, as opposed to like if it's you moving through the streets or if it's you and 100 people, you alone can move a lot quicker and change direction a lot quicker.
You know, all right. As bad as things might be, you know, and people might want to say, you have people who want to share different views. You know, this is my opinion, you know, this is my view. You know, Jamaica is a civilized country. Them all label us third world. You know, because them put in a category. Some people say, yo, though it feel it come like a fourth world, we are living in a fifth world country, you know. Sometimes, you know, but that's because of just vanity and things. Resources for it's not resources that's benefiting anybody in this country, neither. You know, that gonna make the classify us our money wise, you know, economy wise, you know. Really and truly why the country under this whole madness of the whole economic. You know what going to Jamaica with that already. Like all of them things they like when you check the people civilized, the people them loving, the people them caring. Think about it. When you ask anybody, you come to Jamaica, what you get from Jamaica people when you come here?
Energy, positive energy, always.
Alright. And the minority that really govern the place and really rule the place. Do anybody really come to see them? People really come to see Usain Bolt. People really come to see Popcorn, the entertainers, Dre Island, Chronics, you know what I'm saying, Vibes Cartel, you know what I'm saying, the Soundmans, the party, the
culture.
vendors, even the jerk man, them will stand up at the roadside. People take plane just to come see them people, just to sample them food. You know what I'm saying? The whole culture of Jamaica. That's what people love. You know? So when you really check it out, the country on its whole and a whole is by itself is a beautiful paradise. You know, and that make me proud to say Dre Island. As a man from the island, you know what I say? Yeah. And that's why even my city, you always see me sing. Me from up me started. Days and nights I could not sleep, shots fire repeat. But then I say, oh my city, yeah, love I have for you, never die away, no matter what they say. Because at the end of the day, that's what made me who I am today. This city, this island, this rock, Jamaica. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's the people them that live in it. I never see enough of the things them as a little kid growing up that people worrying about now. Like, just so for instance, politics, religion, you know, enough of the things them that I and I see now and even sing about now in my music, you know. I was a child, young, wild, and free. I never had no care in the world about none of these things, you know. And because I never had no care about those things, they say we had no care in the world. That's a myth. You can recall you was a little child. You had responsibility for me was a little child. There's some things you had to do, and there's nothing you could have do to escape that at the end of the day. You see what I'm saying? So it's just the people once for us realize the truth. It's the same thing that Bob said, the same thing that all of the ancestors them say, Garnet Silk, Dennis Brown. I mean, it's the same teaching where we live off, and it's the same thing that's happening today. And it's like people still can't get it, and it puts me like, yo, oh, people still are living like illusion. People still are living at this state of mind of fear. Like, it's real. So because of that reason alone, they will always have power over the people. Sorry to say.
Well, so that I mean that kind of in a roundabout way takes me back to something I wanted to ask you actually about music, which was you talked about as a youngster growing up in the church, um, was that your first introduction to music? Because it is for a lot of people.
No, it was my first introduction to music because I really had that passion for one being like the choir when I was a big kid. My first introduction to music was really in the lane, in a common, Reddy's Road. You know that community where Price Mart is right across the road,
Mhm.
right up there. Before you go to bed, you have to hear music. When you wake up, you have to hear music. That is Jamaica. That is the garrison. You know, and that's why say them people are full of love because music. What does music do for you when you listen to music?
It's everything. I can't live without it.
It heals you. You see what I'm saying? And the type of music and the sounds that were uttered from 1980s, 1990. You know the music them where that fall out of Jamaica them time. They was all uplifting music. It was all growth. It was all awareness. It was all teaching. It was all showing a man say, all right, then me have that life to like you. Yeah, your struggle might be a little bit different, but it's the same. And at the end of the day, I have risen above this occasion, so you can do it too. So that was the teaching that I got from my music coming out of Jamaica as a child growing up. You know what I'm saying? And that was where I got my first love and knowledge of music. So it even reached a point when I was in church. It was so easy for me to see certain things because I got introduced to music. I remember going around all Danny Brown in them studio, Main Street, where I generally give archive book and all of them, man. And remember when the musician them used to come for Bill live rhythm instrumental. I be a love. All the man them do a smoke, drink, whole joy, and the production come out sweet. And then you go to one little choir practice now and it's be a confusion, it's be a little problem, it's be a little thing. The man want to step up says him run this, is him control this and you know for I that never interested me from I was a little child. I mean I was there, you know. But at the same time it never interested me. I knew from a longer time what interested me. You know what I'm saying? I knew from a longer time what sparked in my interest for I started my interest for music, and I played the piano too from I was a little child too, that was like my first knowledge of being introduced to music.
Well, that was actually what I was getting at. So I'm glad that you brought it up, because um, that's something that, like I said, you fall into an interesting place in sort of like if just
Say that again, my king. Sorry about that.
I think you fall into an interesting place as an artist because it's not. It's again, it's a bit of an unnecessary label, but people, listeners, kind of divide artists into categories. If we're trying to kind of like sort through music and
Oh,
see
we
what.
know because of census and of identification, we have to put. That's why them things are there. So
Right,
when you say it, people know exactly what you're talking about.
right. So there's these categories, but one of the things that I learned about you that I didn't know, that I had heard your voice and heard your music first, and then I think saw you somewhere playing piano, doing like an acoustic rendition of something, which just struck me as pretty uncommon. For some reason, I didn't. For some reason, it was unexpected.
This way say Chucky as uncommon. You know why? You see somebody say Kirky just say common sense. That's how we move out from. Common. Yeah. We come from common sense, but we not common. You can't tell it all the while. Common sense, no nonsense. Just them little words we use to utter out of our mouth as a little youth. Word, sound, and power. We did know say there couldn't be no nonsense and no nonsense. Like there's no time to mess up. There's no time. There's no room for errors.
Yeah.
It's not baseball. It's basically one. and you're out. So you know you just have to get it right. You know, so for I was an exception, I must say. You know, it's not like my other friends and my other parents that I grew up with in the community that their parents maybe never had that. You know, because I never grew up with gospel in my mom, but me never grew up a suffer. Like some of my friends and that, I don't say people from Jamaica suffer still now, but as I say, you know, everybody have their fair share of suffering and their level of suffering. But for me, I never grew up born come see that level of poverty in my household, you know, to that extreme level, you know, where I had things bad. But it was real. It is real. It's surrounding me everywhere. It might not never been in my house, but it was in my friend's house. Not every one of them house, but you know, it's there. In every community you're surrounded by in Jamaica, you will find that. In any rural area you go, you will find that same way. You know?
But so then at home, in at home with your parents, then did they support you and work music? Where did like the you
So
obviously
that me
studied
I
and
show
learned
you know
piano.
where my parents now came to me and said what instrument you wanted to play as a little child. And fam, I always tell people say I don't know why I said that. You know, people might ask me, "Oh, why you say that, Jay?" But I don't really know. Tell you the truth. I don't have a clue. Maybe all I knew at the time was this, the piano. You see me I say? So off the top of my head, all I said was piano, you know, and from there and I knew that I was stuck with a piano. You know, right through. There was time when I wanted to give up. Cause you know me used to go Calabar. When we go Calabar High School now, you know, every Tuesday, school over early, 1 o'clock. And then my friend them know with a Ghana half a tree for a look woman every Tuesday and every Friday. But here we go on now for Dre Island. Him did have to find himself up the road. And you know the funny thing about it. Me just a really pre to let this harsh reality. Cause I thought it was just my school education wise was ready to, but even my piano lesson was Reddy's Road too. So I had no reason to leave Reddy's Road at all. I went to Transfiguration Basic School, St. Richard's Primary, Reddy's Road, and that is next door to my community. A matter of fact, it itched onto my community, and I went to Calabar High School. So I had no reason to want to go to Half a Tree, you know. So piano lessons was my Tuesday evening, my Friday evening when all of my friends them, cause we go Calabar, we not see woman during the day, Max Glazer. You might not know this. We not see woman during the day unless the teacher them that is female. So now our little Jai have to go Half a Tree and now take away every other school that's around we woman, you know what I say? All of them woman there. We got other schools now we have intervened. And I couldn't go Half a Tree. You know, as a youth too, I go school where ones look up to from me. I go school from first form, you know what I say? I am a leader. I know follower from me, I go school. From me born. You know, so once you start say, Dre, you know forward Half a Tree. My name at high school still, you know, me I tell you still now, and I don't want nobody in my life to ever say it, but my name at high school was Shatter. I don't know why them call me that in a king. But I that them call me, you know. Like, oh, me never know why them call me Dre Island. Till me just accept it because just show me a different vision towards it. But the long and short of it is, me that for a piano lesson, there was time when I wanted to give up. So much time. Come on, peer pressure. Friend, we're young. Like 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, till I reach 18, I graduate from grade 8 in classical piano. So all of my high school life, and piece of my primary school life, I have been going to piano lessons. When come on to exam time, it's extra work. Plus you have school exam to think about. You have homework to think about. Then me I got extra class too for school. So and then now me is the youth now where me they love the ghetto. Me love ghetto. Everybody will know Dre Island. Dre Island love Garrison. Like that's where my inspiration come from. That is where I birth. That is where it all began for me. So for that reason alone, me they love the youth them in my community and what them stand for and how them operate because when they on interviews in, me love where them operate and where them stand for. So me was the one who I grew up in a family and people on the life who know me know this. I grew up in a family where maybe me, my brother went to me alone went to Calabar from my grandmother. Everybody else the school them way above Calabar in Campion, you know. And then you put me in a picture with all of them from a long time. Me are the only one with Erin. But the PS, yes, me are the only one who might have on a tattoo, you know. And me is so big and fat too. You know me I say, I mean the only one maybe the big and fat so too. Everybody else is slim and trim. You know the truth, so I don't fear to talk about it. It's life. It's reality, you know. And but me the love me always say me unruly. Me always say me rebellious from a little bit of growth. You know. Me always hear them things there. So me they just love the system that was in the community and what they stand for. Because them I that's how my Rasta thing start from, you know, cause every youth remember when me I go school that real and badge, we did a Bob Marley, Sizzla Kalonji, or His Majesty face, or the Lion, or Emmanuel I, you know. That was the thing, and every youth did have a Bible in and them back pocket, one like a New Testament Bible, but the meds was a Christian meds them time they are Rastafari. Cause be a Sizzla Kalonji we all listen to them time, they're the real thing. You know what I say? And I just why you teach a youth, you know. Remember the tree can bend when it get old, you know. So some people don't know this, that's why you have to be aware and conscious of what you give to the little kids. I was just telling somebody when them tell me about we pray, it's like the greatest joy for me when me see one little people. Be a little kids, me see some 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old. I pass and I sing we pray, the greatest joy that for me, you know. Because I grew up and had that opportunity of hearing my fellow elders them in a music. I give me them knowledge there too. You see what I say? I know just one thing come from Jamaica. Cultural. And at the end of the day too, oh the man them sing dancehall and sing up and sing, you know, people might bash gun lyrics, yeah. Or bash when you use it for portray violence against the next man. Against your fella brother. Yeah, we burn off that. You see what I say? But the reality of what enough of these gun songs are is the reality of what happened in front of the man for real. You know what I'm saying? So what you gonna tell the man to do? Imagine something else and sing something else. So I live, I learn, I'm inspired. You know, I've been used by His Majesty. I'm still being used by His Majesty. So I just give the people them what I know in Dre Island way.
So what do you, and this is a hard thing. So how do you see the music that you make? How would you like? I'll go into this afterwards, but like, how would you describe the music that you make? How would you describe this album and the music that you make? What's your perspective on it?
I say it's Dre Island music. See what I'm saying? That's how I describe it. And I know why you asked that too. You know why you asked that question? Just like how I as a Rasta, born religion, born half language, born division, I born genres. You see what I say? And because of that reason, I presented the album in that fashion and that way. Because
What
when I was growing up, I heard a lot of songs. You know, I heard R&B, I heard gospel, I heard hymns, me hear reggae, me hear dancehall, me hear ska, me hear mento, me hear rubber dub, me hear like me hear so much music, house music, garage, um, so much music I heard, classical piano, like all of this that I've heard, that I've seen, and you know the spirit, we are spiritual beings in this earth, you know, and the most I bless singers and players of instrument with a special love. You know what I'm saying? Because we sing praise unto Him and make him smile too. Make the Most High smile, you know what I'm saying? So for that reason, bless us. And me know that, and what I've learned, I just know that, okay then, Dre, you can't separate yourself. You can't come say, oh, Rastaman, burn fire upon division, burn fire upon religion, but you still say, oh, me reggae artist and me dancehall artist, and segregate yourself from the people. And that don't make no sense. You see what I say, Max? So for me, I give the people them Dre Island music. So my roots, my culture, dancehall, reggae, it's two cultures I have. It's not one. So that alone shows you, say, yo, what I show you, say, fam, is love. Two of them is one for I. So any other one that join in now become one. It's one body. It's one spirit. It's one people.
Yeah,
You know?
it's
for that reason, I just give them my culture mixed with your culture from New York. Cause you can listen to Days of Stone with me and Chronics. You hear the hip hop vibes in it. You know, once from Africa link me, yo, I love Favorite Girl. I know why they know Favorite Girl, because they own Afrobeat, and that's where it coming from to, you know, that type of vibes. You know, Europeans and Jamaicans love We Pray. Also Americans love We Pray, British love We Pray, because at the end of the day, that is something that have a religious vibes to it too, more than just Rasta, you know, and it have a R&B gospel type of thing to it. And everybody in those places that I just call that accept We Pray, accept this type of music. So it was so easy for their subconscious mind to just accept this sound, this frequency, because it's something that grandma already used to go every Sunday to church and sing praise and worship to. It might not be that same exact vibes as praise and worship, but that little sound and that frequency and that little melody and phrase somewhere inside you in the melody, you know. And it's speak, because music is a vibration, you know.
Yeah, but that's interesting, and I think that's why you connect all of those things in such an interesting way, which is kind of like all of what we've been talking about, which is having this background in classical piano and pointing out like your friends will go look girls, and like you still went and practiced piano and did all these things, but also grew up in a ghetto community, and at a time when, you know, Sizzler the Real Thing was like the most important, you know, document of reggae music out there. So kind of all of these influences that an artist like you has, plus all of this international influence. This is one of the things that's really interesting to me, which is in recent years, and I'm talking about 5, 6, 7, 8 years, is then all of those things equal to a whole new and different sound, and the way you present your music is very different, because your name probably became known to most people who heard it the first time as associated with reggae revival. But if I listen to Dre Island's music, even going back from then, and some things that were more rub-a-dub, but then a song like M16, which has like a totally different energy. One of the things about your music is it's always combined, to me, like a really diverse set of influences in a unique way, not sounding like, okay, this is Dre Island doing this is Dre Island doing that. Like you said, like it comes out very much sounding like Dre Island, which is kind of obvious, but
yeah, but is that but for me, that is the inspiration. Oh, Jah inspire me to go about it, because remember now, you know, it's what you like and what you prefer on earth, you know, that make you the person. Because I just tell somebody to that, don't think your brain bigger than mine. Just have to tell somebody that, because we all have the same size brain. It's just so we exercise it, you know, that make us fitter at the end of the day. So for me, it's just to create at all time and try to make it your own. I was never trying to sound like nobody. I was never trying to sing a song away a next artist sing it. It's the hardest thing for me to do a cover. When David Radigan came to Jamaica, big up David Radigan, you know, when he came to Jamaica for the BBC, and it was around February where Bob Marley, they were doing the tribute to Bob Marley, and they asked me to do the Exodus. It was right there and then in Tough Gang, right around the piano, them just Say, this is Bob Marley, you know it line for line. Say, yeah, I know it line for line. Like for me, Bob is like the Bible. You know what I'm saying? For me, the words that he sings, you know. So when the song playing, I will sing it out, sing it back with him, you know. But to say go and perform, I don't know if it's true I have this similar sound, you know. And I never like the sense and feeling of imitating anything. You know what I'm saying? So I just always tell people, say, no, you know, for me with Bob, is I sing those songs in my heart. You know, it's to elevate me. Because his words have so much power, you know me, and so we're relevant today with everything what happening now. Redemption song. Redemption song can sing right now in any one of these protests. Right now. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was always creating and making everything. Come on, Dre, this is all your song. I try to change my voice up to many different things. People know me a long time. I even try to sing R&B, go that way, you know, voice tear up, voice crack up. But then I used to wonder where it come from because nobody in my family were singing before me, you know. And then I realized my dad, him can't hold key, but when him sing, this is how him sound. When him talk, this is how him sound. So me I say, oh, and then my little 2-year-old kid now, Israel, when he talk, when Israel talk, me have to hold my head. And so, oh, a little baby voice can't so rough, you know. So for me, it was always to make your own. I always urge everyone, you know, whether it's music you're doing or whether it's sports you're doing, try to be yourself, try to do you, try to make sure that everything that you do is authentic, it's real. I don't like imitation, you know. Fair man, if you can't afford the Gucci, don't buy. Don't buy one imitation one. You know, don't buy. You know,
No,
if you
no,
can't afford the Nike, don't buy one imitation Nike. Buy something that you can afford. You know, go make something that you can afford. You know,
and
create something that you can be comfortable with.
and it's so funny you say that because you know in Way Up you actually address that, but you just address it head on in one of your early songs, which is um they say me favorite Jacob Miller sound like Big Gongzilla. And so
Yeah.
so like by putting that out there, because that's the tone that your voice has, so you've already said what someone's going to say about you. Oh, who's this that sounds like Gong? And then you can just from there keep it moving and proceed
No,
as
but this
yourself.
is what it is. I accept that too. You know, we sound similar. You can't fight that. But we do sound different at the same time too. You know,
Mm.
because you, when you hear Dre Island, you know Dre Island. When you hear Gang, you know Gang. For me, when I hear me, I know me. When I hear Gang, I know Gang. It's the same thing for Gang. I know when him sing, he know all of his brothers, all of his family, all of his tribe, his bloodline, different from Dre Island. And you know, people is coming to that realization now that the album is out. You know, people is saying, Dre Island, when you get a new sound, you say, new song. What do you mean by new song? No I Rise is from 2012. The title song on the album is from 2012.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And I think that you know it's interesting putting the songs together because you know lately we're seeing so many shorter projects, EPs. So I was saying before you jumped on, like it's
the
interesting
Dub
that
Shatters, they just forward the big up Dub Shatters and them distribute the project. You
yes,
know,
yes,
and
yes,
Chris, me that reason Crystal and tell me say, yeah, I'm my big friend. So
yeah,
yeah,
man,
big up
for
Chris
years.
anytime.
So putting
And
this
one next thing to people might not know, people think is a label that Dre Island signed. Dre Island is not signed. You know, no label never put out Dre Island music. It is distributed by Dub Shutters, but presented by Dre Island Music. Zin? So for that alone, with all the love and all the streams that I've been seeing going on with the album, cause it has been going on. It has been going on exceptionally well for an album that is just organic from grassroots, from the root, from the ground. Fam, I spend time on this. I spend days on this. I spend hours on this. I never spend no big money on this. Because it's something that comes from right, yes. Nobody can pay for that. You know what I'm saying? So even for me, that's why I even say, ones who pay for it, ones who stream the music, feel free to share it with your brothers and sisters. Me, now I feel no way. Because you see the message, It come from writers, and that is what is more important to me than anything else in the world. So love and respect to everybody who has already listened to Project Noah Rise. Big respect. Cause you don't know how far Dre Island I tried with this project and the people ever almost crucify me, Max.
Well, look, all right. So look, so we have about 5 minutes left. But so one of the things I definitely wanted to get into with you was, um, how do you, how are you finding it having released this album and not being able to take on the road in the traditional way, that you normally would? Like, is there some frustration there, or are you finding um, other ways to do what you want to do in spreading the word?
You know, the only tradition Dre Island have is as life present itself. You have to know to compromise, you have to know to be innovative, you have to know to create, and you have to know to strive and elevate over all hurdles that come in front of your ways. So for that reason and that reason alone, you know, Jah, don't give me the assurance of family. Remember, you never had that desire to want it to be an artist when you was a little kid growing up. It's me corner here in the corner over there, so. Right in the corner over there, so you can't escape and say, fam, Rastafari away, leak. And now you are Dre Island. So for that reason alone, I know the message. And when I see everything that is happening around in this time, when the meditation told me to release the album, for that alone I smile. You know, I think it's the first day in music since I've been in music. I really had a day that I had no complaints. You know, usually you put out a single, put out maybe a video, you had a problem with something. You know, you had a, a, a you know, something might never go right. Something might, fam. And that day, it was a blessing, fam. I felt a literal weight lift off my shoulder. You know, so. And from that day on, it was no longer Dre Island's album. It's the People Them album. It's your album. It's everybody that's on the live album, you know. It's everyone that's out there facing this crisis of COVID, this crisis of racism, this crisis of illusionness that is going on, that has been going on, this big mind game that has been going on, you know what I'm saying? So for me, I am pleased and I am happy that Noah Rice is out at this time.
That is the best possible way anyone could look at it, because in reality, all of these things that we talked about, they're not things that we have control over. So to take it any other way, which, even though that's kind of what I tend to get into that a bit, but to take it any other way when it's something that we've got no control over, and now this, like you said, this music belongs to everyone, and you've had the ability to just share it, and that ability actually hasn't been impeded or slowed down whatsoever.
No, no, never. You know, I mean, touring is just an next part of music, just like in the studio is just another part of it, you know. There's so much part, you know, that is a part of it. So there's so much records behind it. That means that the DJs, them have a part to play too in it, you know. So the promoters, them to have a part to play in it, you know. And it all is a cycle because the promoter that keeping the show, everybody that I just say have a part to play with me, I have a part now. We all have a part to play with the promoter. When it come on to you and the radio station and the DJ, everybody that I just say have a part to do with the promoter, we all have a part to do with you too. So that alone for sure, we say it's just one thing, it's just one network, it's just one music, it's one family, it's one love. And we just have to rise to the occasion like Sister Dundee tell me. So that's why I present to you Now I Rise. It's 14 tracks, 13 tracks, 4 features. BOK featuring Jesse Royal, Days of Stone featuring Chronics, Reaper featuring Popcorn, Run to Me featuring my brother London. And you know, it's the deluxe package is coming the 1st of July, featuring Wycliffe John, and I have a surprise feature too that we actually in the studio gonna work on and finish up. You
All
know what
right.
I'm
Well,
saying?
all right. So enough of this. Please get back to work from you've got a microphone and you've got a piano, like we know Dre Island is good. Dre, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it always, brother.
Oh, you left out one thing too. From we have this to be good.
All right, bless.
One love every time, Max. So link up. You see what I say?
Most definitely.
Every time.